Morning golfers, welcome back to the 4th edition of the course management holes being played here at the Dyke Golf Club. Well, I say played, but obviously demonstrated more than played. And by special request, I'm starting the back nine, the 10th hole, from the ladies' tee. Somebody mentioned that I'd only done it from the men's tee, which is quite correct. So here we are on the 10th tee, just about to start, and show you our superb first back three. So here we are, ladies 10th tee at the Dyke Golf Club, starting the back nine. And the major concern here off the tee, it being, getting on for 400 yards even off the ladies tee, is the danger down the right hand side. We can see the two bunkers up the right hand side here, one hidden away a bit behind the first one. But what you can really see is the camber sloping from left to right, and that's what we need to make sure we use as we tee off. So if we can land the ball just up inside the, just to the right of this left hand bunker, one, it helps us stay away from the bunkers on the right, but two, we can use the camber to help accelerate the ball and get it rolling down as far as you can along the fairway, whilst missing the bunkers on the right here, but mainly getting ready for the second shot. It opens the green up and allows us to play away from the danger on the right hand side where the trees are. And again, a bit like the 9th hole, we can use the banking on the left hand side as our safety net. We can play off the left hand side. As you can see, keeping with the theme of what we've done so far, is I'm on the right hand side of the tee, looking to the left hand side, so I can hit directly away from our main danger. There is a bunker on the left here, but if we can make sure our starting point is just to the right of that, it opens up a good 50, 60, 70 yards of fairway and semi-rough before we hit any danger on the right hand side here. So let's keep it left, let's use the camber on the fairway, let's gather some yards, and then that ball can slope down to the right edge of the fairway, opening up the green for our second shot. So, having hit a good drive off the 10th tee, looking back towards where we've just come from on the clubhouse at the 10th tee, as we rotate round, we can see the shot it's left us. We've hit it about 200 yards off the tee from the ladies' tee, which represents, I reckon, the average ladies' tee shots at the Dyke here. And you can see we've just managed to avoid this second fairway bunker. We've got a beautiful line into the green. We've got 170 yards left, but the main focus for me is with the ball beneath our feet. That's going to naturally make us fade it to the right, and major danger, especially as the greens and the banks and the fairways firm up, the ball can kick hard off towards these trees here and we can make some big numbers. We've got all this room on the left, and you can see the green side bunker hiding away there. Even if we do knock it in there, that's not the end of the world. But if we can avoid that, and at worst just nick inside it to the right hand side, roll it on that front left corner of the green, we've hit a cracking shot. Or even if we come up a bit short, we can hopefully carry these bunkers. If we feel we can't carry those bunkers at about 140, then let's make sure we lay up correctly. And let's hit something like an 8-iron, which will leave us about 70 or 80 yards, hopefully just short of the fairway cross bunkers. And again, if we can finish slightly to the right of these, leaving a nice open green for us to play a bump and run into, get it scampering up the green. See if we can make a par, if not a bogey, and maybe even a net par with that extra shot we might get on this hole, because it's fairly difficult. So here we are, just short of the 10th hole, on the apron. Obviously we know that we can't miss it down there, that's where all the trouble is. Left hand side, clearly the banking, that's what we're going to make sure we use if we're going to miss it anywhere, unless we're confident enough to aim straight at this relatively narrow green. But again, like all the holes at the golf course here, if you're going to miss it, generally towards, if you're thinking about what club to use and you're stuck in between two, always take the club that's a little bit longer, because again, as you can see, apart from maybe chipping off a downslope on the bank, there's very little trouble at the backs of our greens. So always play it safe. Look to use the banks when we can. And if we can't quite get to the green, let's lay up just short of the greenside bunkers and leave ourselves a little pitch up the green like we can see that we can do here. As you can see from the rain we've had over the last couple of days, green's really starting to green up. And you can see now that the hollow tine holes are really starting to look a thing of the past, and some good strong growth starting to come through. There's a couple of days during the next few days that are going to be nice and warm again up here, so with that really helping boost some growth, a couple more cuts, maybe even get the iron out, and if we are allowed out back on the golf course soon, then with a freshly cut hole this should be looking pretty useful. So here we are, 11th tee, 531 yards, stroke index 14. And as we look up towards the slightly blind tee shot here, over the top of the brow of the hill there is our fairway. It slopes downhill and slightly left to right. The line really, for newcomers to the course, is where that car is coming down the road in the distance. See it cutting through the downland there. That's our line, mainly because the fairway kicks our ball a good 10 or 20 yards to the right as we play this tee shot. Quite a wide, generous fairway. Can be tricky when sometimes you've got the wind off the right hand side, southwesterly, and then you've got to deal with the hard bounce to the right and the amount of wind blowing off the right to try and balance out where your starting point is. For the average hitter, there's a little plateau down here. You can just see the right hand side of it there towards the I-360, which is where most people will find they'll end up, and maybe even to aim for, which gives them a nice plateau to obviously hit off nice and flat for their second shot, because without doubt the tricky part about this hole is the second shot with the ball beneath your feet and sharply downhill playing to a green beneath us. But yeah, generally a par 5, a good chance maybe pinch a shot back, make a birdie, or even an eagle for those bigger hitters. So let's walk on down to the second shot and really find out what the challenge of this hole is all about. So, a successful tee shot. Looking back to the 11th tee, we've just managed to get our tee shot over the plateau here, so of sort of average driving length. As I rotate back round to see our second shot, you can see how much higher the left hand side of the fairway is, and also get a sense of how much downhill we're going as we look towards our green in the distance there. You can see the trouble that we have got to play through as we approach the green. We've got a real penal bunk on this front right, just short front right of the green here on the 11th. If we go in this right hand bunker, it really is the toughest shot on the golf course, I think. It's about 80 yards in distance with a steep face to the bunker, so one, it's very hard to hit the shot that far out of a bunker, but two, especially with a deep face in front of you. So that's going to be the biggest area we want to try and steer away from on the second shot. As we back away to the golf ball now, we can get a real sense of how much the ball is beneath our feet, and obviously we're quite heavily downhill. So can cause difficulty, especially with a longer club on our hand. If we're trying to approach the green, always get as close to the green as possible. In two, using that longer club from this lie can be tricky. So what I suggest is, when we are in this position, we're going to try and load up our weight onto our left side a touch more than normal, and we're just going to sit into our knees a little bit more. Try not to attack the shot too much, just try and let the club do the work on this one, because when we try and attack a shot, we tend to come up out of our posture, and we see a lot of top shots on this particular shot down the hill here, because again the ball is so far beneath our feet. So sit into your posture a touch more, maintain it, and we're going to make sure we play out towards this left-hand green side bunker here. That gives us as much possible space to aim at, but at the same time allows the fairway to kick the ball back to the right towards the centre of the green. Okay, but yeah, going back to it, making sure that when we set up to the ball, we really do sit into that posture, We're going to allow for that fade because the ball is beneath our feet, but really stay in your posture as you go through impact to try and avoid that top shot. Okay, let's move on to our third. So here we are, third shot into the 11th par 5. We're 60 yards short. We've managed to just avoid the horrible fairway bunker on the right hand side here, which can play havoc and cause all sorts of scores totaling up on your scorecard. And we're obviously just short left of that greenside bunker on the left there. So as we look more into the green here, we can see there's quite a heavy little downslope leading into this green, which is great if you're just about trying to nick it on in 2, but if you have just come up short in 2, it leaves us a little tricky shot, especially if the green the flag is cut on the front third of the green here. My advice here really is, if it is on the front of the green, yes, we want to try and get it as close as possible because we want to try and make a birdie or a net birdie here and nick an extra point possibly for Stableford, or tidy up the scorecard on the start of the back 9. But a lot of people come unstuck in, especially when it's on that front right corner here, trying to get it too close. It's one of those shots where, yes, let's have a slight thought towards getting it close, but at the same time, let's make sure we get it a good couple of yards over that front edge. So, you know, the beauty of this hole is you can play it in a couple of different ways. You can play the little bump and run with an 8 iron, 9 iron down the hill here and just get it running safely into the middle of the green if that's what's required. Or if we do try and need to get it a bit closer, maybe the green surface is soft enough to allow us to pitch it on that front edge and get it to stop up fairly quickly. And also, if we've got that in our bag, we can certainly play it that way too. But yeah, it sits pretty much in front of us as we see it. We've just got to, if we are going to run it in, let's just try and make sure we judge that bounce into the green. That's the only disadvantage of playing the bump and run, is we might catch that downslope a little bit more fiercely than we want. Whereas if we pitch it onto the green, we should be able to predict how the ball's going to react and therefore consistently get it a bit closer. Again, 11th green here, just a quick show to see the tine holes covered over very nicely, grass growing through nicely. Not cutting at the lowest point yet, but yeah, starting to look very puttable, and over the next couple of weeks I'm sure they'll be very much ready for us. So here we are on our 12th hole. To me, this is where the golf course really begins. The last 6 at the Dyke are a real test of your golf and your mentality. Pretty much every hole is a really visual test first of all, and the 12th is certainly one of those. So this is the view that faces the player. As I'm sure a lot of you know, quite a tricky one to fight mentally more than anything. If you've got a reasonable score going, you want to try and cut as close to the dogleg as possible to make the second shot as short as possible. Obviously we've got a lot of thick trees and shrubs on the corner of the dogleg, which is a real no-no. Mustn't go there. If we go in there, we're a double or triple bogey straight away. Then we've got a bunker about 230 off the tee, guarding the corner of the dogleg. But what we have got, if we can not get too aggressive, too hungry for an easy par or birdie, is a lot of space out to the right hand side. Even the semi-rough is very much part of our aim here. As I zoom away from that area, back to the golf ball, you can see, going back to what we said from day one and the first tee shot, I've got my ball on the left hand side to help us very much look in the direction of safety, which then gives us this view here. Really takes this part out of our mind. We can pick a point out in the distance there, the corner of the dogleg there where the semi-rough meets the fairway is where I'm going to be hitting today, or be thinking of hitting today, with that slight north-north-east breeze that we're blowing towards the trouble, so we really need to keep that shot out to the right there. The longer hitter, maybe as the grounds firm up, might be hitting as a 3 hybrid or a 2 iron. Slightly shorter will be hitting the driver to get up there as far as they can and leave us a shot that allows us to sneak it on the green in 2. But yeah, a par here is always a great score. So here we are with our second shot. Played a fairly successful tee shot. Looking back towards the tee, you can see we've avoided both fairway bunkers on the corner of the dogleg and obviously all the trees that sit waiting for us, trying to ruin our scorecard. So, as we play the second shot, I think the most common mistakes I see here is people don't quite add on enough yardage to their shot. From this point here, this shot plays 10 yards further up the hill, and especially so because that last little lip here, which I'm sure if you've played the hole before, really does catch your golf ball. It's a bit of a wall, it's quite vertical the last 2 or 3 yards as we enter the green here. So always add on, so if we've got, for example, here 156 to the green, I would be adding 10 yards on, so we'll be playing 166 yards. And that's not even taking into the account that generally the wind is off the left into normally up here. So although it might say 155 on our yardage or 156 on our yardage, with the 10 yards extra for the raise up to the green, and probably a good 10 yards normally for the average wind into your face here. So all of a sudden we've gone from 156 to sort of 176, 180, which then makes this second shot a lot tougher than the actual yardage says. So the next thought is when we get to the green here, which we'll show in a second, we'll see that we don't want to get above the flag. But I think primarily let's get over this front lip of the green and then start to worry about whether we can control the distance enough to make sure we stay beneath the flag. If the flag position's on the front here, so if we see a red flag for example, that means that the flag is at the front of the green, and it's going to be very hard to fall short of that. But if the flag is towards the back third, which would be shown by a white flag, then we've got a very good chance of still finishing short of it, and especially as the back third of the green really does slope up from back to front, and getting above the flag there can be a guaranteed 3-putt sometimes. Again, as ever though, you can see 2 greenside bunkers guarding most of the greens around the golf course here. And although the slope of the green is something to be fearful of, again the major danger is normally at the front of our green. So again, clubbing towards the back edge of the green will always do you a favour at the Dyke Golf Club. Okay, let's pop up, have a look at the slope on the green and see how we make our par. So here we are, just short of the 12th green, and you can really see from this view here how much these last 5 or 10 yards of the apron leading up to the green are much of a wall. If our ball pitches here half a club short, it's certainly not going to go any further. If anything, which I'm sure some of you experienced, if it does pitch up by the front edge of the green, it actually can come back behind where I'm standing now and leave you a really tricky shot. As we raise back up, we can see how much that green does slope from back to front, and generally from right to left, especially on the right hand side here. But this shot is a shot that's often left for us, and again, the beauty of the golf course is you can play it in many ways. We can play a lob wedge and throw it all the way up, especially into a nice aggressive upslope on the green there, and it will get it to stop pretty quickly. Or we can simply putt it, or bump and run it with a 7-iron. So there's lots of options that you can play. Again, I'm always along the thoughts of playing the shot that you're confident of on the day. Don't try and suddenly pull out a miracle shot. So for example, if this flag was cut maybe 8 foot onto the front edge of this front edge of the green here, let's suddenly not pull out a lob shot trying to play the perfect Phil Mickelson type lob shot when it's simply not in your bag on that day. If it's a matter of playing a bump and run and knocking it 5-6 foot past, it's better to be there than having the ball running back down towards your feet or behind you and adding another shot to your scorecard. So again, sometimes it's better to play, not to be too clever, and play very much within yourself around the green. So here we are on the 12th green. Again, just showing some good coverage coming through from the grass growing through the tines. It's not quite perfect. All the holes are fully filled in and closing over now. as you can see behind me here, looking nice and green, with the sunshine that keeps peering through the clouds today, and certainly much more mild during the daytime. We should be continuing with some good growth. With the thought that Boris might be opening up the golf course in some way, shape or form fairly shortly, week, 2 weeks possibly, in some way we can get out and play hopefully. I've started to mark up where the 150 markers once stood, because we've taken them all in for safety so they didn't get pinched. So it's a matter of trying to work out where 36 150 yard markers should go around the golf course. So that's my next job. I hope you enjoyed today's video. We've got what, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 left to complete. I kind of hope that I don't have time to do it because the golf course opens, but if it doesn't, obviously I'll try and squeeze those in before it does. And if not, what I'll try and do, if it does open back up, I'll try and actually play it, come out with my tripod and play it with some golf clubs, and actually hit some shots demonstrating some of the shots that you can be scared of out on the golf course. So I hope you're well, I hope you're staying safe, hope you're not going too mad sitting at home, hiding away from all this, and I'll hopefully see you up at the golf course soon, hitting some golf shots, and we can all enjoy ourselves. Okay, take care, see you soon. So, me again. I thought as I walk around doing the 150 markers, you might enjoy just a few photos added on the end here, just to whet your appetite for when you come back. So yeah, hope you enjoy the photos showing the extra growth we're getting and how good it's going to look when you're back soon. Okay, enjoy, see you soon.